All right, what's going on, family? It's your boy Ra'am on my lunch break. First and foremost, I just want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. I just want to say, thank you for watching and tuning in. So I'm on my lunch break, and most of y'all know I'm in the book of 1 Kings, and so something came across today. I'm in 1 Kings chapter 12. And I wanted to kind of touch on verses 25 through 33. And it kind of stuck to me because I'm in the part now where the kingdom of Israel are starting to split, right, between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. And Rehoboam is Solomon's son, and Jeroboam is an Ephraimite. And so essentially Rehoboam was given a request when he took control over the kingdom. And the Israelites, all 12 tribes united, said, hey, lift this yoke off our neck or lighten our load of work. So he refused, right? Solomon's son refused, and he actually made it heavier. And so as a result, 10 tribes went with the Ephraimite. Jeroboam went with the Ephraimite, and they made him king. So the kingdom literally split, and 10 tribes went up north with the Ephraimite, Jeroboam, and then the other tribes stayed in the south with Rehoboam, which is Solomon's son. And so that's just the backdrop of the story that I'm about to get into. But essentially, Jeroboam was like, hey, I like to keep my kingdom. So he said in his mind, in verse 24, it says, thus saith the Most High, you shall not go up nor fight against your brother, the children of Israel. All right, so the Most High said, hey, don't go to war with the southern kingdom, right? And in the northern kingdom, don't you go to war with the southern kingdom, and vice versa. Southern kingdom, don't you go to war with the northern kingdom, all right? And so essentially, the Ephraimite Jeroboam, he has the idea that if he will have his country, his nation, or his kingdom serve an idol god, then they will stay, their allegiance will stay with him, because if they were to go back to Jerusalem on the feast days, if they were to go back to the southern kingdom and return back to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, then what would happen is they would reunite, and they would kill him and return back to Rehoboam and then be united. So he said, bump that. I'm gonna do the wickedness, and I'm gonna serve other gods, and I'm gonna serve and I'm gonna make my own thing up, and I'm gonna steer my kingdom away from being with the house of Israel, or having Israel reunited. All right, and so essentially, in verse 25, this is where I really want to get into the meat of this breakdown, or just not even a breakdown. It's pretty self-explanatory, but essentially, I wanted to get into the meat and potatoes of what I'm looking at. So, to summarize 25 through 33. Jeroboam said, hey, I want them to serve other gods, so they will not listen to the Most High, Yahweh, and they can, and I can keep my kingdom, because they'll put me to death if they come back to Rehoboam, right? We got that established. And then on top of that, he started making his own holidays and his own feast days, which is going off because, he wanted to do his own thing. So I just read verse 25. It says, then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. Verse 26, and Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David. 27, if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Most High at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even Rehoboam, right, king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go again to Jeroboam, king of Judah. So he's saying what I was just saying. If they go back to do the sacrifices and turn back to the Lord at Jerusalem, then they're gonna kill me and go back, and then Israel will be reunited. He was selfish enough to have his kingdom do the folly and the wickedness, right? And not turn back to Yahweh. Okay? That's selfish, right? Verse 28. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem, right? Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. So he's literally saying it's too much work for you to go to Jerusalem to do these idols, to sacrifice to Yahweh. As a result, stay here, right? So remember, you have to go to the temple. You have to go to Jerusalem throughout the year for feast days and sacrifices and stuff like that. So even though the kingdom is split, the children of Israel was still supposed to go down to Jerusalem to do what the Most High required of them, right? They were supposed to do what the Most High required was for them to go and sacrifice and do the feast days in Jerusalem, right, at the temple. But Rehoboam told them, no, don't do that. Stay here and sacrifice to these gods who brought you out of the land of Egypt. So he took the credit that the Most High was supposed to get and gave it to some false god, some dumb idol, right? As a result, had the children of Israel fall into this folly and madness and wickedness. And then we're going to see what happens. But we understand that that was not a good thing for that brother to do. That was wickedness, and it was selfishness to not only, and that's almost like murder in my mind. If you telling me to, if my leadership is telling me to go off and to do X, Y, and Z, which is not done in the scripture, me as a person and us as a nation has to suffer the consequences and the judgments that the Most High was going to give us, or give them, Slakia, right? So, so when they start to get in trouble, you can almost blame the king because of his selfishness on having them sacrifice other gods, two other gods in another location. And so our people were destroyed for that. All right. And then he gave the, look, man, he gave the credit to another god. He gave the credit to another god, to another being, another entity, and not to Yahweh. All right. Verse 29. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. So 2 calves of gold. So those are the idols. He put one in one place, and he put another idol in another place. All right. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. So the people, right, it makes self-explanatory. The people went to these 2 golden calves and worship there, and that was the sin, right? Because they didn't give God, or they didn't give Yahweh the credit, and they didn't even do it in the set-apart place that they were supposed to go. Okay? And verse 31, and he made in house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not the sons of Levi. And we already know that the priests have to be the Levites. But in his kingdom, anybody can do whatever they want. And that's not how Yahweh wants it to be. Verse 32, and Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made. So again, this brother gets the idea of not only making non-Levites priests, and I'm pretty sure that, this brother was not led by the Most High, because he would have knew better, right? But on top of that, okay, he ordained a feast, his own feast, right? Matter of fact, we understand that in Leviticus 23, that the Most High gave his own set-apart days, his own feast days to the children of Israel. So who was this brother to make his own feast up, right? And then to do it in the name of another god, an idol, a dumb idol, okay? So who is this brother to do that? That's going off, right? And on top of that, that's a sin. And then you're leading the sheep astray, right? And we understand that Yahweh Shai told the people, like, beware of false prophets, And beware of these brothers that's leading these sheep and the flock to do other wickedness and do other dumb idols. It was going on back then. All right. And verse 33. So he offered upon the altar which he made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month. What feast day is that the Most High ordained on the 8th month of the 15th day? What feast day is that? He's doing his own thing. Even in the month which he had devised of his own heart. All right. And ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. All right. So that's it on that. But essentially, I just kind of wanted to run that by y'all, man, because we can't do our own thing. You know, when people say, well, why can't we celebrate Christmas? Or why can't we celebrate Thanksgiving? Or why can't we celebrate Mother's Day or Father's Day or Easter? You know, because the Most High didn't ordain none of those holidays or those, because feast days are holidays, right? It's the same thing. The Most High didn't ordain those days for his people, right? So you can say, oh, I'm doing this in fun. I'm doing this in good spirit. I'm doing this in the because I'm thankful, right? And I just choose this day. I don't see it that way, right? How many of us this last holiday season, from October to December to January, how many of us, in the truth, had our family say, well, you ain't got to look at it that way. You don't got to look at Christmas the way we look at it Christmas. Just show up. Just show up. Just be around. Just see your grandmother. Come see your grandfather. I haven't seen y'all in all year, right? But again, if you sitting up here and, you know, December 25th is not given to us to do a feast day, right? The last Thursday in November is not given to us for a feast day. So Most High really don't care how you looking at it, because this brother Jeroboam probably had the same justification on why he made his own holiday up that you and I used to do, and that our 2/3 is still doing to this day. Oh, it's all in good fun. Oh, it's all in a good spirit. You know, oh, let's just come and eat your grandmother's chitlins, right? Or come eat the pudding that Aunt Nisi made. You know, or you know, you get what I'm saying though, right? Like, we can't sit up here and make our own stuff up and then say it's in good spirit and I can justify it, because we understand. And if you really understand what you were doing, you would stop, because this brother is about to get his judgment in the next chapter, in chapter 13. And we understand that this whole from 25 to 33, from verse 25, chapter 12 to 33, that this brother was doing his own thing. He was making it up as he goes, trying to exalt his holiday almost over the Most High's holiday. And we can't, and y'all can't do that. We can't do it. You know, I was guilty of it when I wasn't in the truth, right? And now that we know better, we do better. So this is something real quick and easy, you know, and just something that was just on my heart, that I feel like a lot of us, you know, if you're struggling in the truth, if you're struggling keeping these high holy days, man, don't let your family lead you to damnation. Don't let your friends and your wife or your husband or your girlfriend lead you into damnation, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own salvation. You are responsible for your own deliverance. Okay? It's not up. You can't sit up here and blame your aunt and her banana pudding when you get that judgment, man. You can't. You have to be stronger than that. Get your aunt, get the pudding, get your desserts, whatever it is. Get your apple pie another day. But you know, you're supposed to abstain from all appearances of wickedness and evil. And we understand that when you do your own things and you do your own holidays, that you are literally you're wicked in a sin. And it might be something small in your mind right now, but when you literally read these scriptures and you see what people got in judgment for doing what you call a simple minor thing, when you look at it in the scriptures, they got the harshest punishment. All right? So that's all I got. Just want to say shalom and, you know, hit subscribe. And I'm going to have something else when this Most High willing, if the Spirit bears with me, man. You know? All right. Shalom. Peace.